you sound like an individual who recognizes that we are in an economic war
100%.
and that employment and investing and all these things have been weaponized to bring cultural Marxism to America.
Yeah.
And you're fighting back.
That's it. And it comes from my story, right? So I won't belabor all the details, but I've had 6 successful exits over the years. I've sold businesses ranging from a couple $100,000 to many hundreds of millions of dollars. So
wow.
Some very large exits. And what I found is those people are using that money. They take control of the business. So businesses that I founded, I got fired from, because I'm an unapologetic conservative Christian CEO, and they just were not comfortable with that. Even though the business is growing 25% a year with a 40% margin, that wasn't good enough. I was fired for perception, not performance. And so when I saw that so blatantly over the last couple of years, I thought there's going to be a lot of Americans who are going to be in a tough spot. Because for a conservative, for a Christian, if you're canceled from Facebook, you just kind of shrug it off. It's not that big a deal unless you make a living doing it and so on and so forth. But if you are canceled from your ability to feed your kids and pay your mortgage, then you're going to be very tempted to compromise on something that you hold very dearly. And I heard a lot of these stories, whether it was the vaccine mandates, whether it was the really Marxist DEI training that they were going through. All of these people are coming to me with these stories saying, it is eroding my whole worldview to be working at this organization, and I don't know what I'm going to do. And like, okay, well, God's given me the skills and the abilities. I should build a place where they can find each other and they can be free at work.
That is economic warfare. It's economic warfare when you tell a person you'll lose your job unless you conform to what we want.
That's right.
It's a means of canceling people, but also canceling culture entirely.
Right.
And now what you've got is, it sounds like it's not a hiring site. You're not a job website. You are actually advancing freedom for willing participants, both employers and employees.
That's right. So, and this should be encouraging to Americans. So we founded ballon.work about 2 years ago, and we've had over 3,500 businesses join the platform and say, yes, I want to hire those kind of people. I'm willing to sign that pledge. And so they post their jobs, and they're now hiring through this platform. And we've had over 1.5 million job seekers on the platform looking for opportunities where they can be free at work. And Kevin, this is the only business I've ever run where I get these unsolicited thank you notes from perfect strangers. I had a lady in Texas who wrote me and said, I just wanted you to know you saved my marriage, because my husband was working at a job where he was swimming in this woke water all day long, and it affects your worldview. A lot of that DEI training is really a liturgy designed to push a worldview a certain direction. And so he's living in that, and you can't help but bring that stuff home. Well, he now works for a company that he found through Red Balloon. He's free at work, and she said, our marriage is better, our kids are plugged in, we're going to church again. Your vocation is such an important part of who you are. And if you can be free at work, you're going to have an opportunity to be free in all these other aspects of your life. So it really, God has laid this on my heart that I needed to do this. I fully intend to turn it into a billion-dollar business.
Well, we are the majority.
Absolutely.
I am fully convinced we're being lied to, being told that we're the minority, and they're cramming this stuff down with the hope that they can brainwash us fast enough that the majority doesn't stand up.
That's right.
Well, you've gotten on your blog. I found 3 of them that I thought were fantastic on DEI. And let's start with the first one. You don't call diversity. What do you call it?
Divisiveness.
Explain that.
Yeah. When you are taking the problem with CRT and the whole idea around what they call DEI today is you are putting people in categories that are inherently going after each other, right? And so it is basically saying, regardless of your performance, regardless of your background, regardless of your education, we're going to give you a promotion, or we're going to deny a promotion, we're going to give you a job or deny a job, because of those aspects, rather than the meritocracy that made America great in the first place.
Performance.
And so it pits every employee against each other. And so that, of course, is going to drive divisiveness in the workplace.
Well, I've got some statistics here. You quote that 60% of people are afraid to speak up, which creates emotional detachment. 91% are required to be indoctrinated, and they're spending $8 billion a year for this training on DEI. Only 33% of employees are engaged, happy, or excited to be at work. Now, we're going to have to pause there for a break. When we come back, I want to dive deeper into divisiveness, and then we'll talk about the E and the I.